Hi, ladies and they thems. I'm vlogging from this angle and I'm holding it in my hand because I'm laid up in my chair, posted up in my chair AF, and my tummy hurts a little, I'm not gonna lie. I took my medicine. I always take my medicine. It's a daily thing. I'm on this medication. It's called Sabinco. I talked about this before in another vlog. I have to burp. I'm sorry. I talked about it. And when I take it, it makes me a little sick. I'm not gonna lie, it makes me a little nauseous. I don't know why, but anyway, guys, life update. Okay, no, I want to say this really quick because it's kind of funny. My friend just texted me. He said, "Will I ever find true love? And if not, is it my fault? #work thoughts." I love him, y'all. This is my friend, bro. And then we were just having a conversation that had nothing to do with any of that. So, and it's like, well, yeah, you know what I mean? So now I have to respond to that. But okay, where do I start? I'll say, since I'm on the topic of my friend in our conversation, sorry I'm exposing you like this. We were talking about divorce, and he brought up a good point that the number one reason, if I'm not mistaken, either the number one or it's in the top 3 reasons for divorce, typically, is financial problems, which I don't think makes any sense. We were talking about how it doesn't make sense because if you're broke AF and your husband is broke AF or your wife is broke AF, if y'all are broke together, why would you want, because it costs money to get a divorce. Why would you get a divorce just because you're broke? Because my thing is I could be poor, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to fall out of love with my partner. What does money have to do with it? I can understand maybe it causes fights, sure. But if it causes a fight to the point where you don't love them anymore, maybe it was just maybe it wasn't ever even about love. Maybe it was about money the whole time. Since when did you base your love for somebody off of money? Because it sounds like if it's a financial struggle, it sounds like neither of you have enough money to be falling out of love with the other one. Because it's bro, you're broke too. We both broke. If anything, you're perfect for each other. And you guys should both be chasing a bag together, romantically as a married couple, I think. But I don't know. That doesn't make much sense. But anyway, I need to, let me spill. So I went to my Army recruiter today, finally. First of all, literally got there 30 minutes early. But it's I'm early to everything, but I was a little too early because I left my house earlier than I should have because, I wanted to get gas, but I think that I overestimate how little time it takes to get gas, or I underestimate. I think that I overestimate because I always am okay, it's going to take me 10 minutes to get gas. Whole time it takes 3, if that. So anyway, and I made it, and there wasn't any bad traffic or anything either. But anyway, I made it, and I was kind of embarrassed. Okay, so so there was one of those doorbells that you push, and it's a Ring doorbell. I don't think it's actually Ring, but it has the camera and a microphone. So I ring the doorbell. I'm out in the parking lot. Let me go back. I'm out in the parking lot by 9:30, and I wait until I think 9:50. I wait until 9:48, 9:50 to go up to the door. Because according to the website, they open at 9. So I'm okay, period. And so I ring the doorbell. Nothing happens. And I'm just standing there. It's okay, cool. And so I ring it again. And I'm just standing there. Nothing happens. And I'm alrighty. What's going on? And then I started what's the word I'm thinking of? I started second guessing. What was I saying? Double. What? I started second guessing. I was am I here at the right day? I was he said Friday 10 a.m., right? What? But so then I ring the doorbell a third time or a fourth time, and still nobody says anything. And right next door, because it's it's not just an Army recruiting station, it's an Armed Forces Career Center. So it's a plaza. So there's the Marines, Navy, and the Air Force doors are right next, down the little strip right next to where my door is. And So I walked over there, and I was tempted to ring their doorbell and be like, hey, what's going on in the Army building? Like, your people are late. Like, I don't know. I didn't know what was going on, but I walked over to the door, and I saw that since they had the same doorbell, I didn't feel like ringing that one too and waiting. But I texted my recruiter. I was like, or no, I called him. I literally called him, and he didn't answer. And so then I texted him. I said, I'm outside. I've rung the doorbell, and no one has answered. And I never got a response. And then I rung it one more time, I think. And then he finally was like, Anna? And I was like, oh my God, that's me. So period. I was like, yes, that's me. I think that's what I said. I was like, yes, that's me. And then he was like, I gotta open the door. I was like, bitch, you open the door. Like, what are you talking about? So I opened the door, and I go in, and I was the only one in there. It was like me and him and then another guy. And it was funny. I told them, he was making fun of me because I ghosted him. I was like, okay, I'm here now, ain't I? Hey, like, what? Don't be mad at me. Because I have been talking to him for like a year almost. Well, not a full year. Like February, I think, is when I first texted a recruiter, like February of 2025. So it's almost been a full year. But it's like, whatever, like, who cares? But I just haven't done anything in terms of like enlistment, because at first I was like, okay, in February, the first time that it popped into my brain, the idea of joining the military, I was thinking timeline wise, I was thinking, this is something that was on my mind. The job that I currently have as a housekeeper at my local hospital, I got a sign-on bonus. I got $1,000 for signing on to the job. And part of the contract is that you have to stay for 2 years. And if you don't, you have to pay the money back. So I was under the impression that my 2 years started in August, but technically it started in June. June 3rd was when I started my internship. That's how I put my foot in the door at the hospital. And it was a student internship, so I wasn't sure if that counted as my first day of employment for the hospital, or if my transferring over from an intern to a full-time employee in housekeeping, I didn't know if that was the first day, because I wasn't a housekeeper full-time until August, like the second week of August, 2024. So when this first popped into my brain, February of 2025, of me joining the military, I was like, maybe I should do, I was like, okay, maybe I'll just stay until August. Like, I'll stay working at the hospital until the middle of August of 2026. And then I was like, okay, or I could just wait until my 20th birthday, which would be August 30th of 2026. And I was like, okay, I'll just do that. Like, I'll be 20, start over, be, brand new, whatever. Like, I don't know. That's what I was thinking at first. And this was also before I had done any like real research. I didn't know anything about the process. Like, I didn't know, like, I don't even think I had been on like the Army website yet at this point to like see what anything was. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know when it popped into my head or why. Like, I don't even know like what caused it. You know what I mean? Like, I know there's like a lot there, like why I want to, but I can't remember what the specific thing was that made me think, military. I have no idea. But anyway, my original plan, I was like, I'm going to make like a 5-year plan for myself. And it involves staying at the hospital until August of 2026 so that I didn't have to pay back the $1,000 that I would owe them. And I'm going to owe them probably. But then I thought about it and I was like, that's so far away. Like, the thought of it, 'cause it was like, at this point, that's February of 2025. That's just so far. Like, I couldn't. Because I thought about it in February, and I was like, leaving in August of 2026, like February, March, April, May, June, July, August. So a year and a half later, no, that's so crazy. And so then, of course, February, March, whenever, I started texting a recruiter. And when I texted, there's a thing that you can do on the Go Army website, and I think it's probably the same for every military website, but it's on the Go Army website. You can just like type in your information and they'll get you on with like a recruiter. And I did that, and two recruiters texted me within the same, like, within 5 minutes of each other. And they were both from the same recruiting office, because there are two that are the same distance from me. I'm in two different, like, cities. I'm in the middle of the two. Like, they're both 45 minutes away from me, no matter which way I go. So I think that based on the location I gave, they chose the one that, like, was technically closer. Like, it might have been 2 minutes closer than the other one. I don't know. But two texted me. And so I responded to both of them. I didn't know what was happening. I was like, sure, I'll text both of you at the same time. Mind you, both of them were, like, asking me questions like, are you in high school? Do you have asthma? What's your weight? All these different things. And so I'm texting both of them at the same time. And at some point, one of them, like, called me while I was at work, and we had, like, a short conversation. And he said something about, he texted me at some point, I think after we got off the phone, and was like, I see that you already have a recruiter. And I was like, I do? It's like, I didn't know, because I don't know, like I said, I didn't know how it worked. And I still really don't. I guess now I understand that it's like, when you have a recruiter, like, that's your recruiter, and, like, you're their recruit, so you can't, like, just shift over something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I guess it makes sense, but I didn't know that at the time. So I was like, I do already have a recruiter. And technically, the first guy, who is now my recruiter, texted me, like, maybe 2 minutes before the other guy. And I was like, oh, okay, I was just responding to both of y'all. Like, cool, I don't know. So when I went in today, I mentioned that. And it turns out the only other guy that was in the building was the other guy that I had been texting at another point, where I was like, oh, well, here's both of you. Sorry, I didn't know that I couldn't have two recruiters at the same time. Like, what? But it was kind of funny. But anyway, it was cool. He, like, asked me a billion questions, and then he was making fun of me because I had said that over and over, I repeated the fact that not to him today, but, like, in the text, I had been telling him, like, I have a wedding in April that I will not be missing. And he was, like, making fun of me for not wanting to miss the wedding. I was like, well, if you don't relax. But, okay, he asked me so many questions, like, literally. And then I thought it was funny. He had to ask me when my last period was, and he, like, showed me, before he asked me the question, he made sure to show me the screen, and he was like, whenever I ask females this, I like to, females, hello, whenever I ask females this, I like to show them the screen to let them know that, like, I have to ask this question. And I was like, boy, I don't give a fuck, like, I don't care, you can ask me whatever question, because, you know what I also was thinking about, at MEPS, I'm gonna have to show them my butthole, y'all. Isn't that literally sick? Isn't that sick and, like literally crazy? Oh my God. Because I have a friend who went to MEPS just, like, 2 days ago, for the National Guard, and she was like, they look at your booty hole and your coochie, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Period. Like, okay. So I was like, boy, I don't give a fuck. I'll tell you when my last period was. I pulled up Stardust. I use Stardust now. I don't use Flow. I used to use Flow, and then I went on birth control, so I didn't have a period, and then I stopped the birth control, so now I have a period again. And this time I went with Stardust to track my period. But anyway, I, like, told him, I made a joke. It was kind of funny. I had both of them laughing. Because I was like, I guess I'll go with the start date of my last period, because it didn't have a start and end date, but I was like, it was 10/31, so Halloween. And he was like, oh, wow. And I was like, yeah, it was a scary Halloween for everybody, or something like that. And they laughed. So I'm proud of that joke I cracked. But anyway, yeah, so then he's, like, asked me literally so many questions. Like I said, the craziest part, I'm not gonna lie, he asked me how many tattoos I have, because he knows that I have them. And I was wearing a hoodie at this point, but I was, like, 14. And he was like, whoa, like, what? And I was like, yeah, like, what? I have 14 tattoos. And then I understood why he was like, oh gosh, because I had to explain every single tattoo to that man. Where it is, what it is, and why I have it. Hello? Some of them are just cool, bro. Some of them are just decoration. Like, I did, for some of them, have to literally say, like, it doesn't have a meaning. Because I have these stars on my wrist. Doesn't mean a single thing at all. The scorpion on my arm doesn't mean a single thing at all. Like, there's a decent amount of my tattoos don't mean anything to me. Like, not, like, in a negative way, but they just are literally because I thought that they looked cool. Like, Of course, the four-leaf clover, that was inspired by Erykah Badu's song. In Utero is obviously Nirvana. Boot Scoot, I have my childhood nickname. And then I have a dagger, that's a Macbeth reference, a Lady Macbeth reference. I have an ankh, which is a spiritual symbol. I have the theater masks, which is to represent the fact that I was in theater in high school. I have bees, which is from Flower Boy by Tyler, the Creator. I have Uma Thurman, which is from Kill Bill, my favorite movie. And then everything else, and then I have a Cancer symbol for my grandpa. Everything else doesn't mean anything. Like, it's just cool. You know what I mean? But anyway, kind of embarrassing. Oh, and then the pawn. I have the pawn for the poem Win the Pawn by Fiona Apple. So yeah. Anyway, I had to explain every single tattoo. Crazy. I don't know why they need to know that. It's like crazy. But anyway, and then I also had to tell him my religious preference, and I was like, is atheist an option? And I don't know if it was or not. I don't know if he looked for it or whatever, but he just put agnostic, I think, which I was like, whatever, I don't care. And then also for my race, I couldn't put, I said black and white, and he could only pick one. So he was like, which one are you? I was like, brother, my life is so hard. Being mixed is so hard. Y'all have no idea. But no, I just told him to put black, because I think that technically you're supposed to go by what your father is. My nose itches, y'all. You're supposed to go by what your father is, I think. My dad is black. And also, I prefer to go by that anyway, if I have to choose one, because I think when people look at me, they can tell that I'm black. They might know that I'm mixed, but they know that I'm mixed with black, if that makes sense. My hair will tell you. If my skin complexion doesn't tell you, because he even said, my recruiter is Puerto Rican, and he said that I looked Hispanic, or maybe a little Hispanic. And I was like, that'd be cool I think it'd be cool to be Mexican. I like Mexican food. And he was like, why wouldn't you want to be Puerto Rican? I was like, oh, I don't know. Hold on now. Don't cancel me. I don't know, dude. But anyway, and then out of nowhere, he was like, how much time you got? And it was 10 o'clock in the morning. I was like, I literally have nothing else to do but going to the gym. So I was like, I don't know. He was like, you want to take a practice ASVAB? Bro, get out of my face. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to take a test. Are you crazy? Is this high school again? I literally felt like I was in freaking high school, and I hated it. But what's crazy? Okay, so the beginning of it, super easy, because it was can you read and comprehend, and do you know any words at all? And of course I do. That was my strong suit, actually, is knowing words. And so I what am I saying? Past that section with flying colors. I don't know. I blew through that part of the reading and all that. And then it got to the math, and I was like, ah. So I'm not gonna lie, the math was pretty good. The math knowledge section, which was asking me about percentages, and prime numbers. Okay, that's sick. For those, because it was the end of the test, this is my thing. I don't like taking tests in general. I'm not good at it. I don't like being forced to sit down and do something that I can't just get up and walk around and take a break or something. I don't know. I can't. I've never liked a standardized test moment. But because at the end of a test, I get so antsy. I get so antsy when I'm nearing the end and it's almost over. I'm like, let me just guess and put something for these last few questions because I want it to be over. I'm so annoying about that. But I'm sorry, y'all. I need to take a shower and wash my hair. I don't want to do that. My God. I was supposed to shower at 8, but it's 8:11. So, and then I just randomly got the urge to vlog a little. So I don't know. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, I don't like taking tests at all. So at the end of it, for the math knowledge section, I started getting antsy and just guessing and I wasn't trying. And obviously it was a practice test. He told me obviously don't stress over it. It's a freaking practice test, and I'm just sitting in here relaxing. I wasn't freaking out for real, but I was just let this be over with. But surprisingly, I got 69, period. I know that's right. I got a 69, and he said that was awesome. I was like, okay, cool. And of course, the beginning of it with the paragraph comprehension and the words and stuff, I aced that. I got one wrong, but I think that I didn't know which one I got wrong. I just know what number it was, and I think I know the actual question because I did have to guess on one of them. But other than that, I aced that part. And then I found out that the MOS that I'm kind of thinking about, which is a 38 Bravo, a civil affairs specialist, that one, based on my practice ASVAB, I should do pretty good on the real ASVAB, because I am going to start studying at some point. But based on that score, I should do good, and I should score a 107 on the GT section, which is like, what did he say? General? Technical? General technical doesn't sound right. It was like, it was something technical, I'm pretty sure. But it's like a section of the ASVAB that you have to score a 107 on to get to qualify for that MOS. And then the reason that like the score has to be that high is because you have to combine 2 sections of the ASVAB, like your score for 2 sections to equal 107 or higher, obviously. But yeah, so anyway, that's my goal, is to be able to do good on the ASVAB. I don't know, there's been a lot of different ones, like different MOSs that have stuck out to me that I'm like, oh, period, like I could see myself doing that. But I don't know, because I kind of wanted to be a 91 Bravo for a while, which is a wheeled vehicle mechanic, which I'm not against, but y'all, like, I for real would have to know, like, mechanical stuff. Like, literally no. I can't do that. Like, I could, but I don't know how I'm feeling about that anymore. But anyway, I'm looking at 38 Bravo now, because that seems fire. Because I want to do, like, humanitarian aid, y'all. I was thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of what inspired. This is probably a weird way to explain why I want this, but I recently watched that series on Hulu called Hurricane Katrina Race Against Time, that docu-series about Hurricane Katrina, and I was so, like, my jaw was dropped the whole time, essentially. Like, it was crazy. I didn't know. I mean, it happened a year before I was born, so obviously, like, I knew Hurricane Katrina was bad, but I didn't know all of the ins and outs and the details and whatever. But I know that because of the documentary, I know that they sent in the National Guard, and I also just learned today at the recruiting office that, oh, hello, Engel. I learned the difference between National Guard and, like, active duty. Hello. Because I have a friend. Sorry, I need to get something to drink. Excuse my movement. Hello, focus on me challenge. Hello, challenge. Like, what's happening? My friend, I'm just going to keep talking. My friend that is in the National Guard, I thought about that today, and while I was asking, I asked him, and I was like, what's the difference? Like, what's National Guard even mean for real? He said that it has something to do with, like, states. So, like, if you're in the National Guard for Georgia, you're in Georgia, and that's, like, your area. No offense, but that's not my vibe. I'm trying to be full-time active duty, and send me wherever you want to send me. I'll go anywhere. But anyway, they sent in the National Guard after Hurricane Katrina, obviously, to help, even though after watching the docuseries I realized didn't help. But I liked the idea of, like, the thought of me being sent somewhere. And I know that I would have to be National Guard for it to be, like, a specific thing, but I'm just saying, like, the thought of me being sent somewhere after a natural disaster to help, that's perfect. Are you kidding me? For me to be able to help, like, and just do, like, humanitarian aid and, like, just be there for, like, a disaster. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why, but that is just something that I would just love to do that. Because I'm, like, recently, with everything that's been going on, whatever, I freaking, just, like, in the whole entire world, not even just the United States, but everywhere, I've been wanting to, like, do something to help anyway, because, like, you know, with the government shutdown, even though it's back up now, which I found out today also at the recruiting office, that the government is back in action now as of, I think, yesterday. But anyway, with, like, the government having been shut down, like, the SNAP benefits, all of, like, the ICE issues going on, everything, and, like, obviously Palestine, like, like, all of these different things that are happening, I was like telling my friend the other day, I was like, I want to like volunteer for something, or like do like a soup kitchen, or just like anything, like a food pantry, like just do something to help people, because like, you know what I mean? Like, I yearn for community, I guess, but I've been wanting that. I've been wanting to do that. And so I thought about it, and I was like, what MOS is for active duty soldiers that has to do with like humanitarian aid? Like, whatever, that would be great for me. So I looked into it. Civil affairs specialist seemed pretty interesting. I'm trying to think. And also that would be, if I do get that, then I could like go to like different countries and stuff and like deal with their government also, which I think would be interesting, and like handling that. Because apparently, according to like the way that they were describing it on the websites I looked at, it's referred to as like a warrior diplomat, because it's like I'm a soldier but also a diplomat, and I'm for the people, and I'm there for the people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That just seemed really interesting to me. So, yes, that's what I'm looking for, hopefully. If not, like, there's so many options that it was kind of sickening. I'm like, how am I supposed to choose something? Because they have like research psychologists and clinical psychologists, which I love, because when I was younger, throughout all of middle school, before I knew what it took to do these things, before I had any concept of college or lack thereof or anything like this, I always wanted to be a psychologist. I wanted to be a clinical psychologist, a criminal psychologist, anything that had to do with psychology. That's always been my thing. That's been my favorite. Like, I'm always referencing the psychology and sociology class I took my sophomore year, and especially the AP psychology class I took my senior year. As I've talked about before, I'm currently reading The Body Keeps the Score. Loving that, by the way. So it's like, I've always been into psychology, and then I found out in the Army, hello, research psychology, clinical psychology, hey, like, I'm here, like, I would love to do that too, but then I'm also like, but I want to help, but it's like, I don't know, there's so many options, so I don't know, it's really difficult to choose, but like I said, I'm gonna have to wait anyway, because like, I have to go to MEPS. I haven't even started the actual like process. He gave me a bunch of paperwork, not a bunch, he gave me a little bit of paperwork to fill out that I'll have to take back to him, and I think he said from then is when it'll be figured out, like when I can go to MEPS and stuff like that. So I gotta go to Jacksonville, Florida. Ooh, Florida. Kind of excited. I heard from my friend who just went to MEPS the other day that the hotel is like pretty nice, period. That's gonna be fun. So it's, for me, that's gonna be like a little vacation, because I do not be going anywhere away from home for real. So even if it's just 2 days, girl, I don't care. And I don't have to work, and they can give me work excuses that my job has to accept, period. Yeah, so that's great. Anyway, I'm trying to think of what else to talk about. Oh my god, guys, I'm intermittent fasting. Have I said that? Did I say that in another video? I feel like I did. Did I? Did I say anything about intermittent fasting? Girl, bye. Because I don't even remember what I'd be talking about for real, because I say literally so much. But I know that in my YouTube video, like my titles, I like to put 3 words, or not 3 words, like 3 things. Yeah, no, I don't think I did. Because when I made the last vlog, I wasn't fasting at that point, so I don't think I did. Yeah. But I like to do 3 words or terms in my titles. Like, I just think that's really cool. Screen time, apologizing, and my Army recruiter was my last vlog. The one before that, shopping haul, recent media, and an internet detox. And then, of course, it keeps going. But I am intermittent fasting, period. I'm doing the 16-8 method, which is 16 hours off and 8 hours on, which is pretty cool. I just eat whatever I want within moderation within an 8-hour period. So the way that I've been doing it recently, because I just started this on Tuesday. I don't know why. I think I'm just really fed up with the whole like lack of weight loss. And I was like, you know what? This is something that I haven't really tried since I started going to the gym and stuff. So Tuesday I ate my lunch, and then I was like, starting now, no more eating until a certain time tomorrow. And I re-downloaded this app that I used to use back in my eating disorder days. What? Uh-oh. Hello. I feel like I always reference that, but it was a pretty a prominent moment in my life. But I re-downloaded this app called Zero. That's a fasting tracking app. And I'm doing the 16-8 method. So like my work shift is from 7 to 3:30, 7 o'clock in the morning to 3:30 in the afternoon. So for me, I stop eating at least by 3:30. And this is like just how it's been going. Today's only Friday. So I've been doing this. I started Tuesday. So I've been doing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So now today's the 4th day that I'm working on it. So, I mean, this could change at some point. I don't know. But, and I'm sure that it will like flip flop around a little bit, like whatever. But my shift is over at 3:30. So typically I'm done eating around 3:30. So throughout my whole work shift, I kind of like snack. I eat breakfast. So I eat breakfast at 7:30. Even though technically our breakfast break is 9 o'clock, but I get to work at 7, and at 7:30, don't tell anybody this, y'all, I'm gonna lose my job for real. No, everybody gets away with so much crap at that place. I will not be losing my job for anything, actually. So I get there at 7, and then at 7:30, the cafeteria opens, and that's where they have the coffee that I get every morning for free, by the way. So I get a coffee, and then I go back to the little room that I'm in that doesn't typically have anybody coming in around 7:30. Nobody really, the people that work in the room, if that makes sense, they don't get there until like around 8, sometimes like 8:30, 9 o'clock. So for a little bit, I'm good. No through traffic coming in or anything like that. So I kind of sneak in, you know, and I eat my breakfast, and I'm a fast eater, but I eat like real fast, like genuinely. So it takes me 5 minutes to just literally scarf down my breakfast. Like sometimes I'll just eat it while I'm like standing. Like I'll just be standing and like drinking water, and I just like eat my breakfast so fast. Like I don't need to take a whole hour to eat any food or nothing like that. So I'll eat my breakfast, and then of course at 9 o'clock on the actual breakfast break, I still take a little break. And then sometimes at that point I snack. So I've been 7:30, I eat, and then I'll like snack in between. So like 7:30, I'll eat, and then by 9, I'll probably have like a couple more bites, and then by like 11, I'll have like a snack, and then 12 is when I go on my lunch break. And what was I gonna say? I totally forgot. What was I gonna say? Are you kidding me? I go on my lunch break. Okay, I go on my lunch break, and then I eat my like for real lunch. And then at some point from 12 to 3:30, I'll have some more snacks. So I kind of just nibble throughout the day. So, and also what I've been doing to keep track of everything, this is not required at all, but it's just, it kind of motivates me, I guess, is like taking pictures of every like time I eat. So like for breakfast, I'll take a picture, and then I'll this is so weird, but I put it on TikTok, but I don't post. I just leave it in my drafts. I've been doing that for the past few days, where I just take a picture, and then I'll put like, this is what I ate today, and it's like breakfast, and then I put the time, so like 7:30, and then my first snack 9, another snack 11, whoa, lunch 12, snack 2:30 or something, like, you know what I mean? Like I just do that, and then I don't know, it kind of motivates me in some weird way. So it's been working. It's been going pretty good. I don't know, y'all. This weight loss journey is freaking hard. But today, my grandparents wanted me to get them coffee. So they gave me money to get it for them. And then they told me I could get something for me. And I got myself a black decaf. Because it was like 7 p.m. Like 6. Or I guess it was more like 6 p.m. 6, 7, sorry, I'm sorry, that was inappropriate, but anyway, it was like late, so obviously I'm not gonna get like an actual coffee with caffeine in it. So I got like a small one, but anyway, speaking of caffeine, I am weaning myself off of caffeine very, very slowly. Let me spill. So this past Monday, no, let me spill like in chronological order. Typically, we'll start from the beginning. Typically, I drink coffee in the morning at work because it's free there. And then in the afternoons, I'll buy an energy drink during lunch. And And that usually gives me enough energy to like feel decent at the gym, right? Or if I skip getting it at lunch at work, then I'll get an energy drink at the gym. Okay, cool. Typically I do that. Monday, I stopped doing that. So now I only drink the coffee in the morning and no more energy drinks in the afternoon. And I'm not going to lie, y'all, I've been feeling it. It's been real difficult. I've been trying to wean myself. I'm trying. And so today, because I'm off of work and I did not have access to the free coffee, I didn't have coffee this morning. So I left my house around 8:50 this morning. And I was at my recruiter's office until like I went in there at 10. I think like 11:30 is when I left because I like did a bunch of stuff and we talked. But anyway, so I left like 11:30, and on the way home I caved, but not really caved because I'm still drinking caffeine every day for now. I got an energy drink, but I got the 8.4 ounce Red Bull, sugar-free, tiny little Red Bull can. And that was because, one, I was exhausted, and two, I had a headache that hadn't gone away even after taking ibuprofen. Cool. So caffeine withdrawal headaches are nothing to play about. So I was like, I mean, I don't know. I'm working on it. So like tomorrow, this weekend I work. So I was off today, but Saturday and Sunday I work. And of course I'm going to get coffee in the morning like I always do. But I'm still team no energy drinks. The only reason I did it today was because I didn't have coffee. And so it's like I might get a little tiny Red Bull, but at some point I want to stop drinking caffeine altogether. Not like the little bit of caffeine that's like in a soda or something, but like energy drink and coffee caffeine. Like I kind of want to stop that completely. Not gonna lie, it's gonna be hard. I've quit like cold turkey with caffeine before. Horrible headaches, hated it. But yeah, I don't know. So as of late, I've just been so like, cause y'all going to the gym, like doing my workout with an energy drink beforehand, wonderful. Especially if I'm drinking it. Well, like typically I'll go into Planet Fitness. Like if I'm getting one there, I'll go into Planet Fitness, get an energy drink and drink it while I'm like stretching. That way, by the time I start getting on the treadmill and the Stairmaster and stuff like that, I feel good. But whatever, I'm going to stop at some point. Like, it's saving me money because I'm not having to spend a bunch of money on energy drinks all the time. So that's good. But I don't know. It's just really hard because, you know, I'd be tired. And then I remember like, so Monday with no energy drink, I was okay before like the gym and everything. But Tuesday, I was like literally walking around like a zombie. Like my eyes like feel so heavy and I'm just like, that's what I feel like. I'm in a daze, like genuinely. And that's why I think that I need to relax, because that can't be good for you to be so like addicted. Like, I mean, that sounds like a negative word because it sounds like it's like I guess caffeine is like a drug, but I'm just saying it sounds like I'm talking about heroin when I say this. But to be so hooked on something that's like, it's like genuinely bringing your mood down when you don't have it, to me, that's crazy. I don't like that. Like, I was talking to my therapist about how I don't like feeling like I have to have something, because at any point, this is like a real deep thing that I'm not going to get into, but at any point it could get like ripped away from me. So I was like, I need to start taking control of my own addictions and like my vices, you know what I mean? Because I've stopped, like, you know what I mean? I'm stopping everything. Like I'm doing like a phone detox. I'm not on my phone as much. I'm reading more. I'm like, obviously going to the gym. I'm trying to like eat better and stuff like that. I'm like quitting all these things that I was once like addicted to, quote unquote, that were like bad for me. And caffeine, in my opinion, should be one of them, because I keep thinking about it. I'm like, well, when I go into the army, I'm not going to have access to these things anymore. Like, I don't even know. Do they even give you coffee in basic training? I don't know. And if they don't, I would like to be prepared for that, because imagine how crazy it'd be to still be so addicted to caffeine that in 5 months from now, after me having been like drinking coffee plus an energy drink every single day and being so used to that, imagine I go into basic and for 8 full weeks, no coffee, no caffeine, no energy drink. Do you know how quickly I'd literally die? Like, I would pass out and be like, no, leave me here. I'm dead. I'm gone. So I'm like, I need to get used to it now. So at some point I want to stop drinking caffeine altogether, but I am being real slow about this process because the headaches, y'all, the headaches. Ugh, I've been waking up every morning and like popping a couple ibuprofen just to be prepared, because even though I do drink coffee in the morning, I still know that I'm going to be like without it for a little bit. So I just feel like it kind of calms me. It doesn't calm me down, but it makes me less like worried about, oh my God, am I going to get a caffeine headache today? Like, I don't know. But yeah, I'm just tired of being so dependent on things and so used to having things that are temporary. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's something me and my therapist are really getting into, but like, yeah, I'm taking control of my life, period. And I kind of love it. And I kind of feel the same way about like the whole intermittent fasting thing, where it's like, I don't want to be so accustomed to like being able to eat whatever I want, whenever I want, because I'm in that space. Like before I started fasting, I was kind of in that where it's like, not only could I buy lunch at work, I could bring lunch from home. And I would, a lot of times, like, another thing that I used to do that would bother me is like, I would bring my lunch from home in order to stop spending so much money at the cafeteria at work. And then I would bring my lunch, eat that, and then sometimes buy a lunch, or I would eat like half and half, and I'd still spend money. And I'm like, that's not what I'm trying to do. So now for breakfast and lunch, I don't even go into the cafeteria. I go into the cafeteria at 7:30 to get a coffee, and I'm out. And every time other than that, I don't go in, because if I go in and I see something that looks really good, I'm like, oh no, I can splurge today, I can buy that. And I do that every single day. So it's like, that's not good for me or anyone. I don't know, it just feels so wrong, I guess. So I'm trying to get used to like not having access to these things, because like I said, in basic, I'm gonna be able to just eat whatever they give me whenever they give me it. I'm not gonna be able to just like pop a little snack here and there, like, you know what I mean? It's just it's not realistic, and I need to be like at least a little bit used to it. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with like the phone detox. I'm not gonna be able to have my phone like ever. I think you get like 30 minutes, if that, at the end of the night for like phone calls or something. And that might not even be like, you know what I mean? I think that that's what you get in basic training, but either way, I want to get used to these things immediately. So yeah, I'm working on it. I've like fully changed my life. Like, that sounds corny, but for real, like I have like started doing so many things that are just so different than like what I ever like imagined myself doing, you know? So I don't know, but very excited, very glad I finally saw my recruiter. # starting the process. Maybe I'll like vlog at MEPS or something. That's gonna be fun. It's also gonna be weird to be going somewhere by myself. Y'all don't even know how I've never been like alone. That sounds weird, but it's just like I've never done anything by myself. Going to the gym by myself has like been a thing. Like when I first started doing that, like that was crazy, because I didn't have a car for so long, so everything I did was like with my grandparents. And then if I went out with friends, they were the ones driving. So obviously, like, you know, I was like with them at their house, whatever. So I've never had the opportunity to like do anything alone. And I know at MEPS, it's not going to be just me there. I'm just saying, like, me going somewhere that far away, like without my grandparents, without any friends, without knowing anyone there, that's like, it's not scary. It's exciting, but it's like so different for me, which I know sounds crazy, but it's like, I mean, when have I ever had this opportunity? Like I've gone far away. I've been on overnight trips for like school. Like I went on this field trip where we stayed, it was like a whole like weekend. It was like 4 days and 3 nights, I think, that we stayed, like slept in like cabins. It was really cool. But I did that, but I'm like, I'm with my friends and my classmates, my teachers here. So I don't know. But anyway, kind of love that. Kind of excited. And I don't know why I'm saying I'm excited. I have no idea when I'm going to be going to MEPS. It could be within the next month, but it also could be within the next 3 months. Like I have no idea. It's not something that I know yet. So I'm anticipating it though. But I am nervous because I'm like, what if I get disqualified? I don't know. Like I'm scared because I know for a fact, and then I say probably, hello. I know that I'm most likely, like, I'm like 99% sure that I'm going to need a waiver for my eczema. Cool. And probably for my childhood asthma that I don't even literally have anymore. And maybe for getting a surgery. I got a surgery back in April for my TMJ. I've talked about it, I think, but I'm probably gonna need a waiver for that too. So I don't know. Did I look like one of those fruits? You know that those fruits that be like, do you know what I'm talking about? Like the lemons and like the apple, and they like eat them. So they eat like it'll be like an apple eating an apple. And they made that face. I'm so annoying. Bye. Anyway, my feet are cold. Oh, y'all, can I say this? I got over there. Ooh, can I zoom in? Y'all, let me do like a little zoom challenge. Hold on. Okay, do we see that white thing that's like standing up next to the blue cup over there? Yeah, that bad boy. Look at that. The zoom on this camera is crazy. But that thing over there is my new toy, my new pause, by the way. That's a CD player. That was crazy. I should not have said that. My new CD player that doubles as a radio and also a Bluetooth speaker. Hello. I got that from Amazon for like literally $30 because I've been wanting a CD player. Like, what? I guess part of my phone detox, being able to like listen to music and stuff while I'm doing other things. But it's cool that it's a speaker and a radio. So as of late, I have been, for the past few nights, this is like fire, I'm not gonna lie. I've been listening to, like, I made this like 12-hour playlist of like soft piano music to fall asleep to, and I've been listening to that all night. While I'm sleeping, of course, but I've had that playing all night. So then when I wake up to like soft little piano music, and it's like, oh, like, period. And then like while I'm getting ready, because I turn it down like real low while I'm sleeping, just so that I can like barely hear it. And then by the time when I wake up, I'll turn it up a little bit so that I can hear it while I'm getting ready. And it's like, it's so soothing. Like, I feel like it's one of those things, you know, how people like meditate before their day to like get them on like a good path or something. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's fun. Like, I don't know. And then I've been making my bed in the mornings, and my room has been staying clean. Like, I'm doing so good right now. You can tell when I get motivated by like something, you know, like, I don't know. I feel like I've mentioned this before. I don't know if I've said this in another video, but I feel like for me to get motivated to like do something, like to clean my room, like to really like deep clean, like really get in there type shit, I have to be like motivated by like an outside source, if that makes sense. And like eating healthy and stuff like that, motivated by an outside source. That's why like in high school, it was easier for me to feel like doing things because I was in, what's the word I'm looking for? I was like, I was motivated in, I cannot think of the word I'm trying to say right now. I was motivated by other sources indirectly. There it is. I was indirectly motivated by just like having friends, which I know sounds weird, but like social interaction and like looking forward to something, especially looking forward to social interaction or looking forward to like something new happening, something big, that like really gets me motivated to do anything. So like, that's why, like I said, I would not be getting up earlier than usual in the mornings and making my bed before work and like listening to piano music to fall asleep and reading every night before bed and eating healthy-ish and intermittent fasting especially. Like, I wouldn't be doing any of those things. I wouldn't have any motivation to do that if it wasn't for me looking forward to joining the army. And like, that's keeping me going right now, if that makes sense. Because things like that, like being able to look forward to something and like having a big group of friends that like keeps you like happy all the time, that does the work for me. Like, that makes me want to be better, if that makes sense. So when I don't have any friends, I get really depressed and lonely, and like, obviously I'm like, I have nothing to live for, whatever. Like, that sounds really dramatic, but it's kind of, you know, like, whatever. But yeah, I'm in my motivated era right now, which is great. Hashtag love this. So I'm just glad that I took the first step to enlisting in the army. Super excited. But now the time is just going to pass so slow because I'm like more aware of it. But I mean, honestly, I thought, like I was saying earlier, because the first thought came into my mind in February and it's now November, so the time has passed really quickly already. And I know I'm only saying that because it's like I have the privilege, what's the word, another time I can't think of what I'm trying to say. I don't know, I have the privilege of retrospect. I don't know if that's what I'm looking for. Is privilege the word? I don't know, I'm able to look back and say that the time has passed quickly because it's already passed. Of course it's going to seem like it was quick, whatever. It's like that TikTok comment that says like, it was like I love when people say things that are like accidentally like super poetic. It's like, it says, somebody commented and said like, oh, that'll take like 3 years. And I don't even know what the video was, but the creator of the video responded and said the time will pass anyway. Love that. Because yes, it literally will pass. You are so right about that. The time is going to pass. One thing about time, it's going to pass. Hello. It kind of reminds me of my, like, about the accidental poetry thing, or like accidentally poetic or whatever I said. My like favorite quote in the whole entire world that I recently put into my scrapbook. I still need to make a scrapbook tour on this channel. But anyway, my favorite quote that's been my favorite quote for like a couple years now. It's in my Instagram bio on my spam account. It goes, that's not the quote. That was me yawning. But the quote goes, it'll all be okay in the end. And if it's not okay, then it's not the end. Hello? Isn't that so beautiful? Like, I love that. I think about that quote probably every day. And I have it on my mirror over there. I like typed it out on like a typewriter one time when me and my like old friends went out. And I've had that. Like, I used to have it in my wallet, but now I have it up here. It'll all be okay in the end. And if it's not okay, then it's not the end. Thank you. Like, I love that. And I remember seeing it. The first time I ever saw it was on a meme of like a cat. Like, I don't know who said it. There was no, like, creator. Like, I don't know who originally said that. But I saw a meme of a cat, and the caption said, it'll all be okay in the end. And if it's not okay, then it's not the end. And it's like, well, yes. Like, yes. I agree with that wholeheartedly. So, yeah, period. I have been talking for 52 minutes. God. And it's like crazy because I was not planning to sit here and talk for an hour. I was thinking like, oh, a cute little 10-15 minute vlog. I'm so annoying. Like, when I get started, I do not know how to stop talking. But anyway, super excited about my #military enlistment. Cool. What did I talk about here? Let me see. What was the first thing I talked about? Divorce rates. Let's see. Divorce. I'm trying to think of a title as we speak. I'll think of a title for this. Divorce, enlistment, and intermittent fasting. Or, what's the word? Oh my God. No. There's a word I'm thinking. Is it intrinsic? Intrinsic motivation? I don't think that that's what I'm talking about, though. Intrinsic motivation is the study of artificial intelligence, robots, and mechanism for enabling artificial agents. Okay, this is too many big words. It says extrinsic motivation comes from external rewards and praise. Intrinsic motivation comes from an internal desire to accomplish a goal. So never mind. Neither of those are what I'm talking about. Never mind. So divorce, enlistment, and intermittent fasting. But I feel like I didn't talk about divorce that much, but it's like whatever. That's what I started the video with. So divorce. Or maybe because my last one was my Army recruiter. So maybe I'll do divorce, intermittent fasting, and external motivation. Or external? Or outside. I don't know. I'll think of something, y'all. I'll think of something and you'll see it when it's in the caption. So basically, yeah. I switched my eyebrow piercing. Oh my God, and another thing really quick. I'm so annoying. Like, I can't stop talking ever. But I thought about it and I was like, oh my God, if I go to MEPS like super early, I'm going to have to take out my piercings. And what if they can't go back in after? That's going to be super annoying. Like, I'm going to have to part with them, whatever. And my eyebrow piercing, I'm not going to lie, there's been a lot going on with it. I probably just shouldn't have changed it so early and have messed with it so much. which is like whatever. And I still am kind of, honestly, I'm still kind of thinking that it's rejecting. But I took it out the other day again to change it to this one from what it was. And y'all, why did like so much blood and pus still comes out of this piercing hole? And I don't know if that's still normal. And I don't know if it's my fault because I keep messing with it so much. But see, the thing is, it's not very sore anymore. It's nowhere near as sore as it used to be. And I can like actually and I can actually take it out and put it back in and stuff like that. Not gonna lie, it is kind of hard to get it's hard to get the thing to poke through the other hole. I sit there for 10 minutes just trying to get in a new piercing, like ring. But I don't know if that's my fault or if it's just not gonna heal. So it's whatever, because it's gonna come out anyway. Maybe even sooner than I am thinking. So that's kind of annoying. But then I thought about it too, and I was like, you know what? Like, I've had my run with my piercings, you know what I mean? Like, I've experienced it. And of course, after I get out of the military, I can always get more piercings. And like, maybe I'll get these 2 again and like do something else. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could always do that. But I thought about it and I was like, I kind of it's not that I hate my piercings, but I kind of do wish sometimes that it was easier to like take them out and it wasn't such a chore. Because like my nose I can do anytime because like that's fully healed and whatever. But with the eyebrow, I want to take my eyebrow piercing out before I shower and just scrub my face, because I have to go around it so much and like be careful with like what I'm doing and try not to like catch it on anything. And I so badly want to just be able to like take out both my piercings and just exfoliate my whole face and just scrub it down and like not have to worry about a piercing being there and hitting it. Because a lot of times before I shower, I do take out my nose ring, but still there's this, and it's just kind of annoying in general. So I don't know. I'm not anti-piercing, obviously, but you know, I had my time with it. It was a fun ride. You know what I'm saying? It was fun while it lasted. I am hoping that I'll be able to keep them in before, like, for the wedding, though, so that it's in the pictures. But if it's not, gotta let it go. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how that works. Because I'm like, well, if I go to MEPS, keep my piercings in the whole time, but then before I actually go for the physical, take them out. And then while I'm getting the physical, I don't have them in. Okay, maybe a little bit, like a couple hours. I don't know. How would a piercing hole close up that fast? I don't know. Because I'm thinking probably because it's not healed. I think it would. I have no, like, I don't know. Guess we'll see. Or by the time I get to MEPS, I could just decide I don't want these anymore. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? And then I think I have to figure out how I want to do my hair too for like basic, because I think I know already. I think I want to do just cornrow braids into a bun, but I think I want to get, because like my hair, if you were to cornrow my hair back this way, it wouldn't be long enough to put in a bun, but it also, I think that it would be too long to not have in a bun for the army. So I'm thinking I would get some hair added so that it's longer and I can just wrap that up and do a bun, because I was thinking about it and that would be really convenient, so that like I wouldn't have to get up and like slick my hair back every day and do like a slick bun ponytail moment. I could just do it with some braids and just wrap them up, put them in a bun. I'm like, that's like the most perfect thing ever. Because I've heard that like black girls for basic, a lot of times they're like, do something that is easy, do a protective style that's easy to just sort of throw back into a bun and go, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like cornrow braids would be perfect, because I wouldn't have to slick back anything. I wouldn't have to take gel, maybe for my edges, but I wouldn't have to get a slick back brush. I do have one, but I wouldn't have to use a slick back brush for anything. That would be great, but I don't know. We'll see. Much to think about. There is much to think about. It's almost 9:00. My screen time thing is about to go off. So you know what? I need to respond to my friend. He texted me asking if he's ever going to find love. And that's how I started off this video. And that's how I'm going to end this video. I think everyone can find love. I think. But it also depends on where you look. And it depends on if you know that what you're looking for is love. Because at the end of the day, it all depends on what you define as love. But if I'm looking for something and I get it, that doesn't always mean that it's love for me. And it might not be what's right for me either. So I could think that the guy that buys me everything I want loves me, but that's a physical thing and that's not an emotional love, if that makes sense. So you can never be too sure. Because like I said, if you find love in whoever, it depends, like the love languages. If your love language is acts of service, giving, receiving, whatever, like, then yes, that could be your love. But if your love language is just quality time and you're like trying to love someone or trying to receive love from someone who doesn't want to be around you that often, but still somehow wants to like buy you a bunch of things, then maybe it's not, it might be love on one end, but maybe it's not reciprocated. So that's what I think is difficult, is that you have to, I don't know. I saw a thing on TikTok recently and I reposted it because I thought it was really sweet. It said, be yourself, or it said like, always be yourself so that the people looking for you can find you, which I really like, because we're all looking for somebody. But at the same time, a lot of us are not being our true selves. So it's like the wrong person is looking for someone that is similar to who you're pretending to be. And that shouldn't be who you're trying to attract. You should only try to attract people that are looking for the true, authentic you. So that's who you should be all the time. So I think that goes for love, like romantically and platonically. Friends that are trying to find you shouldn't have to dig that deep to find you. You should just always be yourself on the outside. Same thing romantically, like look for what you want and, give out what you want others to look for. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just probably said a whole lot of nothing. But anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.